All right, come here. Oh. Happy Sunday, Stampers and Paper Crafters. This is Facebook Live number 445. It is Sunday, November 2nd, 2025. Oh, sorry, Bert. Oops. I just knocked something over, so I scared my cat. That was Bert. He had a haircut. So anyways, my name is Joy Borwedge, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in Burnsville, Minnesota, and I have been a demonstrator since August of 1999. This past Saturday, which was yesterday, we had our event. And so 5 of us demonstrators made 16 cards. Each of us had 3, except for Heidi had 4. And so you come in and you register and you get a bag, and inside that bag has 16 baggies. And you take out one baggie and it has a number on it, and then you go to that table, or the opposite, you pick a table and you go and you get the number for because the table is numbered. And so anyways, you create 16 handmade cards, and we can't we don't stamp anything for you. We do the die cutting, we do most of the die cutting, I should say, and we do most of the prep, we do all the paper cutting, we have designs on the table so that you can create that card, or if you're like certain people that love to see somebody else's work and then add their own spin. I like to do that too. So it's great to see what others can come up with, and I love it because it's a platform to share creativity. So anyways, I'm going to share 3 cards that I had designed for this particular event. So I'm going to put you down on the table, and if you get motion sickness or anything like that, look away, and I'll let you know when I am done messing around with the camera. So hold on. So hopefully everybody had a nice weekend. All right, so here we go. Tina, hi, welcome. Thank you very much. I'm glad you got to come. All right, so here we go. We're gonna just lighten that up. Oh, that worked perfectly. We didn't get stuck. I'm glad you had a good time. So Tina came to our event, and all right, so we're gonna put our light on the subject. I'm gonna squish in just a tad bit. All right, I think we're good. Maybe a little bit more squishy. There we go. Okay, I think we're good. Looks like I'm playing piano. I cannot do that. I know what went down on the ground was my prep work for the virtual event. So let's talk about this for a second. So again, my name is Joy Borwedge, and I have a Stampin' or an Instagram page at Stampin' for Joy. My YouTube page is Joy A. Borwedge. My online store is stampinforjoy.stampinup.net. penguinszz33@outlook.com is a place where you can add your email me, so that if you want to be invited to my stamp camps at the apartment here in Burnsville, I would love to have you. So you can email me and say, hey, put me on your list. Oh, I'm going to twist this. Sarah, hi. And then Facebook page is Stampin' for Joy. So how this works is I'm on my Facebook page, Joy Borwedge, and I am doing a Facebook Live. And then after the live, I take a picture of today's projects, and I will put them on my Instagram account, and then I will download this video to both my YouTube page and my other Facebook page. So that is how this works. All right, so the next event that is coming up is a virtual event. So you can be anywhere in the United States, and you can participate if you would like to, but you have to get your registration in, I believe, by the 9th. I think that's what it says, so that we can get them in the mail to you in time for the event. So our event is going to be Saturday. Oops, wrong one. It is going to be Saturday, November. This is going to be the virtual event. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong one. So it's going to be November 15th. And so that's a Saturday. And how this works is Heidi designs 4 cards. I design 4 cards. And then we mail those kit packets to you. And they come basically the same way. So they'll come like this. And that way, when video number 5 comes along, you grab that video and you use the stamps that you have on hand, or if you've had a chance to order them ahead of time, then you can use the same greetings that belong to that particular stamp set. So that's how that works. And we do a Zoom meeting on the 15th. And if you can't make it after the event happens, we send out the event videos to everyone in the registration that has registered. So then that way if you can't make it, you can only do part of it. Then you can put together the projects at your own leisure. So that is how we work that. All right, so here is a flyby of one of the cards that you'll be making for that event. And so I look forward to seeing you on Zoom if you're able to make it. Okay, so let's talk about a few things. Stampin' Up! Is going to have another class. This one was called The Traditions of Christmas. And you register. Now, this is Stampin' Up's first craft class. And so you register. It was $30. And I don't know if it's still available to register. But here is one of the cards that we got to make. And it's kind of a fun fold. So then you open this up. Oops, I didn't glue it very well. And you open this up, and obviously I am not playing very well. It got stuck. All right, so this holds it together, and then that's the inside. Now, this was actually meant to be a frame so that you could put a photo in here, but it could also be a Christmas card. And so this just kind of slightly bends in and tucks in. So that's one card that we got to make. Another card we got to make was this one. And I didn't finish the inside, but this card is something that they were trying to show different techniques with. And then this is the first card we made. And so they were showing how to use this particular die. When you punch the item out, you are left with a negative image. And so they were showing how you can use that negative image as a way to add that into your creativity. And so that I didn't finish the card either on that one, but that is the first card we made. And if you see the shimmer in there, I don't know if that pulls in, but there's a lot of Wink of Stella on there on the background. And then the final thing, now this here was worth the $30. Now this is a frame, okay? And they gave you all the instructions on how to cut the cardstock. And they gave you even diagrams. Now, it was sent to you, or there was, if you registered, you get this where you can download it. And so I downloaded everything. And so it tells you this is a 12 by 12 designer series paper. And this is what the back side looks like, but they want you to use this piece. And now I ran out of cardstock, or the stuff that they needed. So I kind of, what's the word? Improvised. And I changed some things. And then it gives you the cutting, the die cutting diagram. So this piece right here is supposed to have this many things cut out of it, and then it labels what project it goes with. I was in awe about how well everything was written and easily. I kind of read into some things and just kind of got started, but I didn't start the projects before it happened. And the reason why I'm showing this is because Stampin' Up! Is offering another class. And this one here was supposed to be blue, and I decided to do red. And another thing with this design was the two-tone cardstock. I sanded it, and so they told us that we could put it through the embossing folder and that we could sand it if we wanted to. So I decided to sand it. And then I also took sponging. So I took a brush and I kind of highlighted the corners with a blending brush to kind of give it a different color. And then the, the berries, I used Wink of Stella, and I also used Wink of Stella on the holly, and you can kind of see that right here. So this would be something that somebody could make and give to a person for Christmas. Just think of who you could give this to. Now, you could do this for Thanksgiving. Now, just think of the fall colors and the leaves that could be done with this. I mean, the options are endless. All right, so the reason why I'm telling you is because Stampin' Up! Is going to have another class. And that class is going to be focused on a new product that's coming out November 4th. So it's called Brushed with Beauty. Now, I haven't gotten mine yet, so I will be getting this suite. And again, it is $30. Now, the suite collection is 167100. That is the suite collection that comes with the designer series paper, the stamp set, the dies, the embellishments. That's what it comes with. Now, the craft class is 170074. Now, I have no idea what they're going to be showcasing during this, but you're going to be creating new, unique samples, learning exciting tips and techniques, and exploring new crafting opportunities with an experienced instructor during this virtual class. And it's going to be a Stampin' Up! Representative, so it's going to be really cool. So that, I do not have any insider information, but I can't wait to sign up. Now, this here is the Making Season Bright 12-day Advent crafting calendar. It has nothing to do with Christmas. It's not sold out yet, and it is 167335. And it comes with a stamp set. It's a 2-pager because it's kind of big. It's $99, and don't forget, you're going to earn rewards on that as well, 10%. And you could purchase this for yourself, or you could purchase for any crafting person that you know and give it to them as a Christmas gift. But in here are products that coordinate with the stamp set. So like I said, it has nothing to do with Christmas projects or products, I should say. So take a look at that. Then it's getting kind of close. It is November 2nd today. You have until November 10th to register for the paper pumpkin. You have to, for the next month, you have to register by the 10th. And then the add-on for the Paper Pumpkin subscribers. They can do add-ons. And so this one coordinates with the October, November, and December Paper Pumpkins. Judy, hi, welcome. All right, so check those out. And excuse me, I was waiting for that to come. Sorry for that awkward pause right there. All right, so in the holiday mini catalog, there is a stamp set called Love and Courage. And when Stampin' Up! Does this, they pick an organization to send them donations. And this year, they are donating to breast cancer organizations. So every stamp set sold, they're going to send $3 to that organization that they choose. So check that out. It's in the holiday mini catalog. Now, October, the last chance products were updated, and so were the discounts. So if you're looking for bargain shopping before the products are sold out, check this page out in the last chance products part of the screen. Now, most of you know that if you are a stamper, that we have the annual catalog, and if you have in the past year and a half purchased from me, you should have received this holiday mini catalog. And these are the two catalogs that are going on right now. But the third way is the online exclusives. Now, the online exclusives are for everybody, every stamper. Excuse me, my nose tickles. They're for everybody. It's not, because it's exclusive, it's not just for demonstrators, it's for everybody to choose from. Now, Stampin' Up! Goes every other month, and they offer new products. So the last time they put new products in the online exclusives was September. Now, I can show you this. The products do not make it into a catalog. So this is a great way for Stampin' Up! To offer new products without having to take 2 years to plan and to produce a catalog. So they are 2 years ahead when they do these catalogs. And so now, November 4th is a Tuesday, and that is when the November online exclusives are coming out. And I can't show you even the front page. Sorry about that. But if you want to check those out, there is quite a variety of products that are beyond, let's see, the Brushed with Beauty. So I just want to tell you, it comes with the stamp set. Actually, it's 2 bundles, two sets of stamps and 2 die sets. So this is going to be a mega, that's what us demonstrators call it. It's a mega suite. And then it has designer series paper, and it has a beautiful pattern embossing folder. Vellum also is included, and the Pearls of Beauty. Now, several demonstrators that have had a chance to pre-order have already gotten it and have been showing things. We're not allowed to show the inside of that page that I print off. We're allowed to print those off so that we can keep our records straight and stuff. But we're not allowed to show that until it's available for everybody. But we can show the products. And I have yet to get the products yet. I did not pre-order. But do you guys want to see the card that I've been doing flybys with this card? And kind of showing you what the in-person, kind of one of the cards, I kind of like to do a flyby. I already did one for the virtual event coming up, but this was my flyby. And it is a card that is a vertical easel card. Now, when you come to the in-person event, you will have samples on the table, and they look like this. And then you can look at it, and then if you need help, then I come by and I will help you. So what it does is I have a packet with number 5 on it, and everything is included in that packet that creates that card. So you don't really need to own anything except for kind of like tools. Now, I like to have my bone folder and my take your pick tool and your adhesive of choice. Now, for me, it's the Stampin' Seal. I also love the glue, the two-way glue, the liquid Tombow glue. I love that as well. And also, I suggest when you, thank you, Dawn, welcome. So this is using, let's see. I'm going to show you. So the Lights of Aurora dies, and this is one big die. So I created the trees using either this side or this side. And so it depends on their trees if they had a horizontal card, or see how it kind of goes. Yeah, it's going to be a horizontal, because if it goes past the vertical, that means that's this one. Okay, so I had a notation on there. It's going to either be horizontal or it's going to be vertical based upon the trees. Now, in this designer series paper, it is amazing in this suite. Now, I have 2 packs of cardstock, and basically this is all I have left. So I just want to kind of show you. I'm going to flip this, and normally I do like a 2-inch segment, and you really can't tell what this paper looks like when you have a 2-inch segment. So I actually have a half a sheet. And so the back side has nothing to do with the Lights of Aurora. And I had a couple people yesterday tell me that they saw this paper and they did not know what to do with it. Now, I was going to try to tell them what I had done, but apparently I've not done a Facebook Live with this. And so when I do a Facebook Live, I always take a picture of it, and then I post it on my Instagram. So I pulled out my Instagram, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I guess I haven't done any pages. And so then the stamp set that goes with this this is the stamp set that's in that suite. And so you can have, may your day be filled with wonder, magic, light, love. Wishing you a year of, and then you can also do a combination. So you could say, what I did with this card was wishing you a year of love and light, and there's the word and. And so you could push these together. Now, I wanted to make this a card that could be used for, like, you could do this for a Christmas card. You could do this for a Happy New Year's. You can also do this for a birthday card. So I wanted it to have different meanings so that they weren't kind of stuck in just Christmas or just fall. So that is the designer series paper. Now, the gems that come with the suite, I use them all, so I don't have anything to share with you what they look like. So sorry about that. And then there's the balmy blue ribbon that coordinates with it. And that's in the suite as well. And I have several different samples of cards that I have done. Need to set stuff down. So I created this card with the same set, and I did a stand-up easel. So this is a normal kind of like a different type of easel where it lays flat. And then this one is a vertical easel. So there's two different styles of easel cards. But so this here, I kind of used the negative of the part that you cut out to use as the stencil to help with the shading of the ink. So that is one card that I used creating this card. Then this one's pretty simple, very easy, and you can do it with a lot of those designer series paper. Now, if you don't want to do a circle, you could do a square and make that fit into your need. Now, this card here, I took the Berry Burst Stampin' Blends and I colored that blue ribbon. And then I did not finish the inside of that, but it's a thank you card. And then this one here, those dies make backgrounds that are so cool, that have, you know, I wanted to do a card without the designer series paper, showcasing the dies. And so embrace the wonder. And then again, I did the same thing with that technique of using the leftover, that negative. Now this one, using a little bit of silver embossing, and then I used the rhinestones, kind of like the stars. Now this one here is the back side of the designer series paper, like this one. Actually, it's probably that one. And then I used the Wink of Stella there to make it shiny. All right, and then last but not least, it's a snowfall, and I have never seen the lights of Aurora. It's someday. It would be Aurora Borealis. I mean, so cool. I've seen pictures, and I think that's about as far as I'm going to get. All right, guys, so that is using the stamp set and kind of just showing you different ways to use that particular bundle that's in the holiday mini catalog. All right, so let's get going with this particular card. Now, I am going to use a bone folder, and I'm just going to give a nice crease on these two pieces, and I'm just going to put that right there. All right, so we're going to stamp the greeting in Memento. This is black, and it says, wishing you a year of... Now, I am going to give a card to people that watch my videos. Now, how to get into the drawing, you do want to do a thumbs up, a heart, that gets your name entered into the drawing. Then, if you leave a comment, that gets your name entered into the drawing. Now, if you share this on your timeline, this will get you into the drawing as well, but 2 entries. So that is really cool. Now, I'm looking at that, and it's a little bit lopsided. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to be fine with that because I'm going to put a gem over there. Okay, so I'm going to grab my silicone craft mat. And when I use my Stampin' Seal, sometimes I tend to overrun. So that way I don't... Oh, I'm going to get close. I'm going to have to change. I'm going to have to put a refill in while we're doing this. All right, so we're just going to attach that like that. All right, so then this, I am going to take my Wink of Stella, and I'm going to lay that down flat, and I am going to just use my brush, and I'm going to lay it down, and I am going to paint it. Now, if I went like this, I wouldn't be getting a lot of space, but I want to do a lot of coverage. And we're going to put that on there. And I think I got everything. All right, so that's the Wink of Stella. And then we're going to use mini glue dots on here. We're going to flip that over. Now I'm actually going to, again, grab that silicone craft mat and my take your pick tool. I call this the end, the people poker. And that is going to help me, because I do not have fingernails. So it's going to help me grab the mini glue dot, or the mini dimensionals here. And now I just want to let you know that if you get your name drawn for, say, this card number 1, I'm going to take your name out and put somebody, take your name out, because I want 3 different winners. All right. And then we're going to stab and grab those backings. All right, and throw those away. And then we're going to place that. You know what? I need to, that is not, I am not all that great with the 1/8. And sometimes my cutting, or even just putting them on, I get a little, you know what, I think I need to straighten that up a little bit. So I am just going to drop things. That's all I'm going to do, is just drop things. All right, so we're going to take that and give it a little snip it off. Maybe this will sit better for me. And what did I just drop? Okay. There are just days that gravity works a lot better than others. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Okay, that looks better. Yay. Okay, so then now we can put our trees on. And gotta be careful, because the one at the end doesn't have, and I got it attached with the dimensionals. All right, there we go. And so we're just going to put that down at the blue line. Come on, guys, behave. There we go. Yay, that turned out really nice. All right, so then now I am going to stamp the greeting for this one. And we are going to use the Berry Burst. Yeah, apparently we had the most people at this event than we've ever had. We had record numbers. And so I thought that was pretty cool. There were several new people that we've never had before. So that was awesome. And some people, one person, she told me that we basically wore her out. And I told her, 16 was a lot. She told me 16 cards was a lot. And I said, well, next time, maybe you can do the 8 cards. And she thought that that might have been a better choice. So I told her, I said, I can't wait to see her next time. So I'm going to take off my sweatshirt. All right, so then the next one we're going to do and light. And we're going to do that in the Gorgeous Grape. Tap, 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 no squish. All right, now I could have done wonder, you know, like light and wonder, but those words were too long, so I had to do shorter words. So I'm glad that nobody really kind of asked me, like, you know, like, why are we doing, you know, love and light? I was just kind of, hey, Bert. Yeah? You can come and steal my chair? All right, I need to turn my fan on. Okay, so I'm going to just pick up some ink, and I like to hold it closer towards and I'm not pushing down hard, I'm just doing it lightly. But I just want to start out with a light swirl. And just go darker, 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 you know. You start out and you swirl out. Now, I could add more color if I want, so just pick up a little color, swirl off, and then start in the middle. And then again, work your way out. And again, I am not putting a lot of pressure on. You can always add more color, but you cannot take it off. But there is another side, somebody told me, and I said, you are correct. Stampin' Up! Has great paper, cardstock, so that when you make a boo-boo on one side, you flip it over, it's not going to see through the back side. Okay, so now that turned out really nice, so I don't need to flip it over and redo. So we're good with that. Then this card, okay, so this is how the card looks, all right? And I numbered everything so that people knew what panels they were at, because this was almost one full sheet of cardstock. And so they were in consecutive order. So I needed to take off these. And then we're going to flip that over. And we're going to grab our mat. Now, I think I should have had better instructions, because most people either did not figure out what this was for and had to take their card apart. And I think we're going to have to get that new refill pretty quick. All right, so we're going to put that in right here. And I am just lightly putting it on so that I can squish and move around. All right, so that was panel number 1. This is panel number 2. Now, the difference between me doing this card and a normal Facebook Live is that I give the dimensions out. When I do a stamp camp or an event, I do not give out dimensions, because you need to come in order to get that. All right, so we're going to add on this. Now, I did top to bottom and just the sides. Okay, oops, a little bit too much over. And I think we're good. Now we're going to put dimensionals on this, because in order for an easel card, oops, and I need to get my dimensionals. All right. Now, the pack of dimensionals comes with 3, so I'm just going to take one out and then put that back in. I'm going to put it in upside down so it's easier for me to grab, so I don't need to take the whole thing out again. So I'm just going to flip it upside down and just slide that back on in. Come on. Just like that. And then all I need to do is lift that up, grab one out. And that's what I do. And we got the refill ready, so when I run out, we're going to need that. Okay. Okay, so then now we're going to grab the dimensionals, and I just kind of go, and whichever is the first one, I grab one, and then I use the rest of my take your pick tool to help with the poking those. Okay, then I'm going to take those at a slight angle, stab and grab those backings. So then that way, these do not end up all over the floor. They don't end up all over the carpet. They don't end up on your dog's nose. Now, again, you got to make sure that it's the same space. And then a little bit out at the edge, have a little pink. And then top and bottom, just a little bit. That's pretty good. And then squish. And then now we're going to take, come on. Then we're going to take this one. And I told several people that this would be the perfect card for them to make a Christmas card, because they can put a picture, you know, those photo cards that everybody sends. You can make this piece your photo when you put it here. That would be really cool. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put, this is the edge, and that's the edge. All right, so the fold is facing each other, and I am just going to put the adhesive on. I just only did that just because for no real reason. Just to ink them or put adhesive both on them at the same time. Okay, so then we're going to take that, and it's straddling the fold. Now you're not going to see this. Okay, so I want this to be the same color as this. And then we're going to put, oops, see, I should probably have gone this way. I'll try to stop a little bit faster. We'll take care of those little sticky parts. All right, and then we're going to stick this equally between here and here. This, I wanted it a little bit more up. It didn't have to be center. And so now, when it stands up, it's going to look like that. How fun, right? Okay, so then now we're going to take the parts, and we're going to put our gems on. Okay, so I'm just going to use my tool. 1, 2, we'll go right there. 1, 2, and 3. Right there. All right. So that is our card. So what do you think of card number 1? So if you came to the in-person event, you got to make this card. And it fits in a standard envelope. Well, hello, Karen. Welcome. So if you came to the event yesterday, this was one of my cards. All right, so let's just clean up a little bit. So that is, we're going to write a little note on that. So then we know this is Facebook Live number 445, and this is card 1. So that whoever wins this card will get that information. Thank you, Tina, very much. Tina got to make this card at the event, and she can, use that card as kind of like you can, break apart the dimensions on that and recreate it using something else. All right, so let's clean off our stamps. Now I had a Simply Chamois at every station. I had 3 stations this time, and that's why my Simply Chamois is cut into 4s, so then that way when I have stamp camps, I can offer a clean image or a clean surface to everybody who comes. Now, I don't necessarily need people to clean in between if it's using the same thing, but if somebody's not doing something right on the card and they mix colors up, I want them to be able to clean it up. All right, so that was card number 1. Technically, it was card number 5. And this one is card number 6, and our second card for today. Now, this one has no special openings or anything, but let's get the parts out. There's one. Okay, now this focuses on the traditions of Christmas. So when you go, let's see here. All right, so when you go back to this video, if you just came in, I kind of did a showcase of what we made for the Traditions of Christmas class that Stampin' Up! Offered. And so let me show you what's in this particular suite. Now this is called Christmas Greenery, and it has the dies. So that is that, okay? And then I'm just going to move my parts. Just because gravity's working tonight, I don't want to lose anything on the floor. And then we have the stamp set is right here. This is the traditional labels, okay? So, and then here are the labels that come with this. So this has images and no words. This has words but no images. And I love it when Stampin' Up! Does that, because that means that you can, excuse me, you can combine these together, or you can use these words on different cards. And then the traditional sparkling sequins that comes in the suite, as well as this sparkling real red ribbon. I love this ribbon. It is so pliable. Then also in the suite is this wreath. And I'm going to stick this the mat in between so that you could see the label that, or the wreath that it would emboss on it. And then we have the Designer Series paper. That is coming, I believe, the 11th or the 17th. I can't remember. I believe this Designer Series paper is out of stock right now, but it is coming back. If you go online and you sign up for the email, Stampin' Up! Will send you a message when this comes back, because sometimes things come back earlier than originally stated. So this designer series paper is specialty paper, and it is because of the gold foil. So the side that has the gold foil on it is more of the traditional designer series paper, and then the back side has nothing really to do with Christmas. So once Christmas is over, you can certainly use this paper beyond Christmas. Now, let's see here. Now, something that coordinates with it is the Keeping Traditions. Now, what this is two-sided, it's the two-tone specialty paper. Now, this here is Cherry Cobbler. And then Stampin' Up! Toned this down a little bit. So one side is really Cherry Cobbler, and the other side is just a slightly off tone. And so what this paper does is, number one, it's not heavy as cardstock, and number two, it has two different colors. So if you want to have a full sheet of Pool Party and then bend over the color, then you get to see that two-toned color. Now, if you put it in an embossing folder and then use sanding paper on it, that is a technique. Same thing with the ripping, because it is actually colored in Stampin' Up! Colors on each side, but the core is white. And then this here is Secret Sea. Then this pack actually comes with White Willow. And so this is, you will find it in the memory keeping section of the annual catalog. Now that particular one is in the holiday mini catalog. So if you are not sure about two-tone cardstock, just buy one of those mixed packs, play with it, have some fun, and then we offer all colors in two-tone cardstock. And then that way you could start slowly building up your fun. All right, I'm going to take a sip here. And we'll get on with it. Okay, I'm just going to get these out of the way. Okay, so this is the card that we made. And there were different different colors and different colors of cardstock because I actually ran out. I prepped for 60 and kept 3 colors for the table. So let's see, the pack of cardstock. So everything is here that we need. And I am actually going to, oh man, you know what? I threw the stencils away. So what I did was I took the die. You know what? Let's make some stencils because I want to show you how you can, let's go get those dies back. All right. Because I like to show people how they can create things to use, not necessarily in the way they intended. And so, let's see, let's pick. Okay, I picked this. Now this here is an in color. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a stencil out of this one. And I'm going to make a stencil out of this one. And the reason why I kind of chose kind of the bigger pieces is because, number one, this die is big. And this die is big. And so if you were to swirl too much, then you Let's see, is there one that's bigger? No, there's not. They're both actually the same size. That is funny. All right, so we're going to grab the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and this is what I do with my, anything that's less than a quarter of sheet goes in one of these. This used to be a red rubber storage. And then we also used to have cases for red rubber that were not the plastic, but were the hard cases. And so all my scraps are in these, and 5 of one color is one, and then the other side of the color, and I go in alphabetical order. But anyways, I like to give tips and tricks and show people how to use things other than what they're intended for. So let's get rid of that. We're going to get the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I shall be right back. Oops. All right. And then you are going to be lucky because I'm going to do something that you probably haven't seen, and I'm not sure. Take a dryer sheet and rub it on your cardstock, okay, with your detailed dies. Not that it's going to make it smell pretty, but it's going to help release it out of that. All right, so we're just going to do one at a time. Oops, I just moved the camera. Sorry about that. And see how that came off just nice. Ooh, and it's, you know, this is what we want. We don't need that piece. So we're going to use that as a stencil. Okay. And look at, nothing stuck inside there. So, yay. Now where did I put the... Okay, and then the next one, okay, so we're going to lift that up. And that is Timid Tiger. I certainly doubt that I'm going to use a Timid Tiger palm branch. So that'll just go in the recycling bin. And this one really doesn't necessarily need it, but you know, we could certainly do it. Sorry for the shaking of the table. And you can use the same sheet multiple times. I mean, I just take a sheet, fold it in half, fold it in half, and fold it in half. And once it looks kind of discolored and it doesn't seem to pop out as easily, then I flip it over and start a new one. So that's how I did a lot. Now I had stencils on the table for everybody to do and to use, and that way we could do multiple things at the same time. Now that is in cloud cover, and so we'll use that stencil. Okay, and nothing stuck. Oops. Yeah, now it's clear. Okay, now that is done, and then I'm going to grab my little Pampered Chef scraper thingy, and I'm going to put those little remnants in the trash, and we are set to go. So I'm just going to roll that and carry that over. All right, to my die cutting station. All right, and back. Let's see here. Now, where did I put everything? Okay, so we're going to stamp the word Christmas wishes in Secret C. All right. And just allow that to transfer. And look at how beautiful that turned out. I love these dies. They're so pretty. Okay, so we were going to do the inside of the card. Now, I'm going to flip it over and just do a light. I'm not going to burnish it with another, I'm not going to do the crease, because the reason why I flipped it over is because when I do the stenciling, I want nothing to show up on the inside of this card. I want this to be white. And I say, all right, then we'll put that over there. All right, so you can check and see which side you want your stencil on. Do you want it to be like this, or do you want it to kind of come down? So it's really up to you how you want it. And now when you, I'm going to grab some ink, and I am going to just do a little blob. Now, first of all, I am just going to follow. I think I moved it, but that's okay. I didn't start too much. If you are doing this at home, I'm going to get rid of that blob. I am following the paper, the edges. You don't want to, kind of like a cat, you don't want to pet it against its fur. You want to go with the grain, is what I was telling everybody yesterday. Go with the grain. Now you can go as dark or as light as you wanted to. And I like that. That's perfect for me. All right. So then you can also do this on the outside of your envelope. That would be a great way. And then you can keep that stencil, you know, for around as long as you want to use it. Now we're done. Now, if you were doing a whole bunch of these for Christmas, what you can do is open up your ink pad, okay, and just leave it sit there like that, and then put your brush back in it. And then that way it's not weeble wobbling all over the place and turning your other craft cardstock different colors. So we're actually done with it, so I can put that one away and close this one up. Now, if I, like I said, if I was doing multiple of them, I would not have them close to each other, just because you might accidentally take your brush and dip it in the wrong thing. Now, and it really doesn't matter which color you do first, but as long as you go the same direction, you can flip it this way if you wanted to. It really doesn't matter. So I am going to take this and start there. And now, one of the things that I like about using this mat is that I'm right-handed. My left hand is holding my stencil. Hi, Dawn. Welcome. All right. And so I am just going to swirl in, but not too hard, because this is paper, and you could certainly move that paper and rip it. So I'm just kind of following the grain of the leaf. See, that is just moving a little bit, so we're just going to slide off. And you can do this with any die. I mean, if you wanted to do this with a circle or a square, you could certainly do that. And if you wanted to do this on a scrapbook page, this is a great way to add color and dimension without adding any weight. Oops. Right, and let's see how that turned out. Oh, that turned out pretty nice. Okay, so then now we're done with that stencil, and we're going to close this up for now. Actually, we are done with it. All right, and then now we're going to stamp the greeting on the inside. And that is going to say, sending love and joy. Now, I didn't swirl on any color over here, so that turned out really good. Now I'm going to grab the Secret C again, because that's going to match the same greeting. Now this die, that greeting fits in this die beautifully. But as you can tell, I'm not using that today, but there's several different greetings that fit in there. And so we're just going to put that on with the colors, the same color scheme. Okay, and then we're going to take a little bit of, I had a little bit of scrap from all my paper cutting. And so I am going to add this to the bottom. And we're going to put this on. I want a little bit of white showing. And we'll go just like that. And oops, let's move that up a little bit more. Come on, move it. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to snip this off. And then we can add this to our card base, which is the Real Red color. Okay, we're going to put that. Let's see, no we're not. No, we're not. We're going to put this together. We're going to put this piece on, and one of my favorite colors, or this is one of my favorite designer series paper out of this, and it's on the other one. So these two happen to be my favorite, and they're both on the same side. I hate that. I hate that when that happens, don't you? But that's what happens when, that's the reason why you buy 2 packs of paper, and then you don't have that problem. All right, so I'm not really squishing this part together too much, but we're going to add this one. I'm going to slide that right under. I didn't leave enough. All right, I must have pushed down a little bit. All right, so we're just going to squish under there and slide that right in. Oh, come on, behave. I didn't push you down either. Play well for me. Don't misbehave. There we go. Slide under. That is where you're supposed to be, is under. There we go. And then we're going to do the same thing with this one. And I want just a little bit of color showing under this one. And you can decide how much color you want showing when you do cards like this. You know, you're using up strips from when, darn it, when you cut things down and you have those strips. This is what I'm showing you how to use. All right, and I'm going to get rid of some of that adhesive. Come on. And this way you can not have anything to throw away except for these little bits and pieces. And that, you know, it's giving you value. All right, so those go in the trash. And then it's going to go on the Real Red card base. And I had a lady ask me, why do I design my cards this way? And I said, because I want you to see the color of, you know, from the front. Thank you, Carolyn. Yes, I'm sorry we did not have much chance to visit. I'm glad you got to come. Sherry, thank you very much. Glad you got to come too. It was good to see you. And see, when you see this card, you see the red. I want you to be able to open up the card also and see that red. And that is the reason why I like to do it this way. And I think, you know, it adds a little bit to the inside as well. And then we're going to take this and we're going to snip it. Because, again, we're not, you know, again, showing you that just because it's a big leaf doesn't mean you have to use it as a big leaf. And might as well snip that off too because you're not going to see it. And then this one, I'm going to use the People Poker and get rid of that piece there, and the other one came out, so that's good. Oops, that one did not come out. That just moved. All right, so then now we're going to snip this one. And I did that one right about here. All right. Okay, so if you looked at the original card that was sitting on the table, you got to see that some of it was underneath the white and some of it was underneath the cherry cobbler. And I designed it that way to kind of give it an illusion. Okay? All right, so let's put on adhesive on the top and the bottom of the white piece. So we're going to take this one and we're going to put that right there. Now we also want this to lay on here, and when we put this on, we don't want things to overextend the card because we want it to go through the mail and fit in the envelope. So we're going to lay that down. Oops, behave. And we're going to lay that down and put that there. And then we're going to pick that up right there. All right, so then now we're going to put dimensionals on this. Grab my People Poker. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. Stab and grab those backings. Okay. So then now we're going to lay this down. And we're going to put this right. Actually, let's, yeah. Might as well just do it on here. I was afraid I was going to turn it crooked. All right. There we go. I think I like that. There we go. Then now we're going to do the same thing with the other piece. And we're just going to go right there like that. And then see how this nice leaf comes up? We're going to put that right there so you could still see the greenery coming out, but you don't see the part that we cut. And then we're going to do the same exact thing with this. And put that right kind of like that. I think that'll work. I think that'll work. No. There. Yeah. That's going to stay inside the envelope, and that is going to be right there. All right, cool. Then, oh, that hit just a little bit. Then, there we go. Ha! That fits better now. All right, so then we'll add Wink of Stella to the pine. I'm trying to get all the parts. And then under here, you can make this a Merry Christmas card. It says Christmas wishes, but you can say Merry Christmas if you wanted to, because the card, the stamp set allows you to mix and match, and there's quite a bit. Now I want to remove the stickiness off that little tiny, so you can actually open the card. Wouldn't that be funny if you opened the card, or you tried to open the card and it wouldn't come undone? Yeah, that's an April Fool's Day, not a Merry Christmas. All right, so we're going to grab the silicone mat, and we're going to grab the gold. Now these are berries. These are holly berries. And one of the things I learned while taking the Traditions of Christmas class was that when you have these berries, that little piece right there, the little circle, needs to face the same way, because as if the sun came from this way, you want those little holes to all face the same way. So that is something I learned from the person who actually designed this suite. All right, so we're going to take mini glue dots, and I am going to take that and add that to my berry. Nope. You're not coming undone today. All right. And another one for the berry. Come on, stay on there. Let go. It's a mini glue dot. It works well. All right, one more. Okay, so then we're going to take that, and we're going to stick that right under there a little bit, and then I'm going to stick that. I know I just told you to make them go the same way. I am not following my instructions. Whoops! Do. The sun is turning. It's coming around the bend. All right, and then we're going to put that one right there as well. Okay, so that is our second card that we did at the event. So let's see, let's put the information on the front of the card here, or on the back, I should say. So number 445, card 3. Okay. And then I will put that on the, well, I'll put that on the front, because I have to take pictures of these anyway, so that way I can tell which one's which. All right, so we're going to clean up for just a second, and then we will do our last card. And, okay. I'm going to clean. Yeah, I really, really, really like this stamp set. It has inside pieces, you know, Greek sentiments, and outside sentiments. And what is that? I don't know. we'll just clean that off, and we will put those away. Okay. So then, let's see here. We'll put that over here. And the last one, we have, okay. All right. So let's get stuff for this one. Now, this card, I actually had to cut more stuff up for, because I prepped for 57, and I don't know, somebody wanted another card, and so they couldn't, so they just gave them the sample. Now, there was 3 different cards, because you only get so much cardstock. Not cardstock. Oh, man. Designer series paper. And where is it? Let's see. The designer series paper that I used for this was is in the annual catalog, and it is from last year's spring mini catalog, and so it moved over, and it's called Country Woods Designer Series paper. I have never loved a designer series paper more than this one, because it's so versatile. And so you had many different wood pieces on here that you could literally put with. But then I ran out of early espresso cardstock, and then I ran out of crumb cake. So I am, let's just say I'm going to be placing a good size cardstock order coming up pretty soon. All right. Too bad it wasn't during the free shipping, because that would have been really nice. Now in here we are using one of my favorite stamp sets in the holiday mini catalog, and it is called Branching Out. You purchased yay, cool. That's okay. You know, it's going to be sent to you, Carolyn. If you make 1 or 2 cards, you'll get those videos to make at your, own leisure. For me, this is what I call a sleeper. And I have done several Facebook Lives with this card, and I have heard back from, people saying, like, this was not on my radar. And the card that you made, I need to get the set. And so, yeah, it's a sleeper. And these dies are phenomenal. And this here, not necessarily for Christmas. Wishing you a day filled with many happy moments. You could say happy birthday wishes, okay? To a very special someone, sent with lots of love, from our family to yours. Happiest birthday wishes. Friend, hello. I love the font on this hello. Thinking of you brings joy to my heart. Nothing in there says Merry Christmas. So this is a very masculine card, all occasion card, birthday card. I mean, perfect, right? I have a friend that goes hiking with her husband all across, I would say, all across the world so far. And she's a very nature person. This would be something perfect for her. Anybody who's into camping, hiking, things like that. I mean, perfect. Okay, this one is easy. It's simple. People did not know what Versamark was, and so I got to show them that, and I thought that was actually cool. This is the smaller of the leaf. Versamark is a watermark card. It basically takes your card stuff, and I had to actually cut this a different way. So I'm starting from the top, and it darkens your cardstock. And so I'm going to go up like that. All right, and you can do this however you want. And then I'm going to do this also on the inside. Now, there's also a bigger branch in here, but I did not use that. And I had this on there. Now, this can do this one, and this one at the same time. It can also go with this one and this one and this one. I like the mini one. For me, I like the fact that I can omit stamping a leaf or a palm. I don't know, what do you call this? Pine, if I wanted to. I might want to put a pine cone right there. And so it allows me versatility. And also, when doing the card, you can, in color, you can also change the colors up. So I like to do that too. So that's why I kind of like the little guy. And it doesn't take too much longer to stamp it singly than it does if you were to do all three pieces. Okay, then we're just going to take that. I'm going to use now I've been using the Simply Chamois, but what I'm going to use is the Stampin' Scrub. And in here, there is raindrops, and here's the sun. And so you put, thank you very much. I do too. You put the Stampin' Mist on here, and I'm going to put a little bit of water and have everything that I used the Versamark on from yesterday's event, and I'm just going to kind of let that soak. And then I'm going to put that over here. So that's the reason why I like this, is to use it for when I use Versamark, because it cleans your photopolymer and it doesn't, it doesn't feel sticky, because this is a sticky ink, and you can use this for watermark look, which is what we're doing, or you can emboss with it. Okay, and I'm actually going to put another pine cone down here, down in the corner. All right, so then now we're going to put pine cones, and my Versamark pad is kind of dirty, and that's okay. It doesn't hinder anything, and it doesn't change colors of your cardstock. Okay, so there you go. Now we're done with that. Oh, you know what? I want another one right there. Okay, so then we're going to cover up this. Really? Well, I'm glad you learned something. See, that's why I like doing these things. This is showing people either something they didn't know, techniques that might bring them a little something. Now, all the cards that we made yesterday were this kind of fold, just because this was the only piece of cardstock that I had. It's the top fold. So it doesn't really matter, but the person who's going to win this card is going to like it. you know, it's not going to matter which, oh, well, that's the end of that now, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to take that out. And I'm just going to use my scissors. That's the way I always do it. And then okay, so then you take, there's a hole there, a hole there, and a hole there, and you just line that up, and it's an easy refill. Except for when you're doing it on a Facebook Live. And then you clean out all the glue boogers right here. Every once in a while, I'll take rubbing alcohol, and I'll clean that out. Okay, so now we're gonna just put a little bit of adhesive in there, and we're going to put that on our early espresso. So this is crumb cake and early espresso, and this is basic beige. So you can see the color difference between. All right, so I'm going to grab this so that it gives me, let's see, I'm going to do it equal distance from here and make sure it's straight there. And I wanted to see the pine, you know, the pine boughs and the pine cones. But because this was so dark, I didn't think it would look, I thought it looked better with the basic beige than if I had it on the crumb cake. And at that point, I ran out of crumb cake anyway. So, all right. So then now, this is one of the berries that is in the dye. And so we're using a real red, and then we're using dark pecan pie. And I'm just using the nib tip. And this is basic beige. And so I just cut this out. And we're coloring the branch. Now, if you had say like, you know, I don't know if you would be able to see if you had pecan pie cardstock and you cut this out. I don't know if you'd be able to see the red or not. So that's why I did this on basic beige, because I knew that the color would stand out. And you can leave your berries white if you wanted to. I know that there are white berries in the realm of nature. And then, okay, so our berries are colored. Okay, then we have our white piece here. We're going to take early espresso and we're going to stamp our greeting that says happiest birthday wishes. I'm just going to test that out. Okay, that looks good. And we're going to put that over here on that side of on the right side. And then we're going to do the greeting. It says, thinking of you brings joy to my heart. And that is also on Early Espresso. And these are all from the same stamp set. I kind of like to do that just because if, you know, somebody comes to this event and they make, you know, cards of mine, I want them to be able to say, oh, I like that, and not have to buy 5 different things. All right, so this is the pine cone, and this is pecan pie. And just kind of move your pecan, or move your pine cone different ways. Okay, now that looks good. So now I didn't attach it because if it went bad, then I could flip it over. The only time you cannot flip over when you make a mistake is when you do Stampin' Blends, because it soaks through. Now, we weren't doing any shading, but we could have if we could, take the brush end. I taped my brushed ends, just because, I don't want people messing up my brush. But we could certainly, or we could do, let's see, that was the dark real red. We could certainly use the nib tip and see, because, I like to see, which one's darkest, which I always swatch my edges. So it's really not going to do any difference on here because it's so small, you're not going to really see any shading. But you could certainly do something like that. All right, so let's get the berries off. Okay, I'm actually going to move the Stampin' Pearson mat now because we are done. Once all our stamps go to photopolymer, you really are going to want that Stampin' Pearson mat just because it makes your images so much better. And also, if you're so used to stamping, allow your ink to transfer. That, when you have a bold image that, this is not a bold image because it has design in it. Let's see, what is a bold image? What do I got? Bold, like the hello, that's bold, where it doesn't have, like maybe even a circle. So when you have something like that, it may not ink up well. So you want to have that Stampin' Pearson mat behind it. But also, if you just stamp like this, and you allow that, you just stamp it down, you're not going to get that full color. Whereas if, when we first learned about photopolymer and Stampin' Up! Introduced them to us at a convention, Bonnie said, you're supposed to say to yourself, Bonnie is beautiful, Bonnie is beautiful, Bonnie is beautiful. And she said, number one, you're allowing the ink to transfer from the photopolymer to the cardstock, and that gives you a good image. And it also, she says, it you're giving yourself good morning, or you're reinforcing good thoughts about yourself. I always thought that was funny. But I said that to somebody yesterday and they kind of giggled. Because you're supposed to say, I said Janet. And I said, Janet is beautiful, Janet is beautiful, Janet is beautiful. And then she giggled. All right, so I'm just putting a little bit of adhesive right there. It's just for me to grab the pine cone, bough, stem. That's going to get covered, so it doesn't matter. All right, so then we're going to grab those mini glue dots. And I have them in the wrong spots, so I didn't find them right away. All right, so we're going to put, actually, I think I might do this because my stem is pretty wishy-washy. It's kind of, you know, flimsy. I'm going to take my glue dot and stick it possibly right there. No, it wants to stick to me. And then I'm going to take that, fingernails suck. All right, so take your pick tool and then grab your berry with your take your pick tool, the putty end. And then you're going to grab your pine cones and flip them over. And you're going to, let's see if I can do this. I think I can do this. I think I can. Take a mini glue dot, squish, and grab a pine cone and a mini glue dot, and squish. And then we're going to do a bow, and we're going to squish. And we're just going to rip all that off. All right, that goes back in the bin on my tool corral. All right, and then I'm going to put my lid back on my tool, and then let that go right there so it's not going to cover up any of the words. And then grab that other one, and we're going to lay that down there, and then we're going to grab our bow. Now I'm going to squish that mini glue dot, and so you don't see it, it's just under that knot. I mean, how pretty is that? Then we're going to take that, throw that in the trash, grab the Wink of Stella, and we're going to color the berries. Now, one person said to me, what are we going to Wink of Stella on here? And I said, the berries. She goes, because I didn't see where it was on here, and little Miss Winky needs to, have her Wink of Stella on there. She calls me Miss Winky. All right, so then we're going to grab our take your pick tool, and we're going to put this on dimensionals. I had a look. I designed this card a while ago. Let's see, September. Okay, all right, and I'm going to take this, stab it, and grab it. And that is going to go a little bit over to the right. And I'm going to try to make my words straight. All right. Oh, I forgot the Wink of Stella on the pine cones. Oh, I did. No, never mind. I did that. Boy, I do not remember doing it. It's been a day. Okay, so okay, you guys. So this is number 445, card 3. All right. Ooh. And I forgot my embellishments. On the table, I had ran out of embellishments. When I made my table designs. So I designed my card as soon as my pre-order came in, and I was designing my cards. And when I pack for the big day, I make my 3 cards. I have 3 cards on my table. And as I am packing, or putting, as I'm, designing my card or making the 3 cards that I make for my table, I use that as my packing list so I don't forget anything. That's all I have left of the streaked dots. That is in the holiday mini catalog, and that is on page 40. And I'm not going to be reordering. You know what? We might as well finish this card, right? With the other 2, because it's going to be an odd amount. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's see, right there, no, right there. I think we're creating triangles. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and let's create another triangle with this one. 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, and ooh, right there. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so then I can throw that away and put the other thing in the recycling bin. Okay, because, Christmas is coming and got to show Christmas stuff. But, okay, so I forgot what I was talking about and I got distracted. Okay, so see how, oh yeah, so I had to color rhinestones so that people knew where to place the streaked dots. Okay, so this is card number 3 that we did tonight. And we did card number 2. And then we had card number 3. So which out of these 3 were your favorite? All right. And so you guys are going to get a chance to win this card, one of these cards. So if you do a thumbs up or a heart, your name gets entered for the drawing for doing that. Then, if you leave a comment, if you're watching the replay, you still get a chance to win. So leave a comment. Oh, the Aurora. Okay. Thank you, Tina. And then leave a comment. And you can do the likes even after the video. But if you comment on the pictures that I post, the pictures do not count. It has to be the video. And then share this video either while watching or doing the after the replay. You have 30 days on Facebook. You like number 1 is well done. Thank you. So you have 30 days to share this. But then also the people that see this, once you share it, I would like them to also have a chance to win. So they have a chance. Judy, you like them all, but the Christmas one is the best. Thank you very much, Judy. So share this on your timeline as well. That gets 2 entries. So that helps me a lot with doing the, Facebook analytics things, talking back, conversing with me. I don't want to say talking back because that sounds bad. Conversing with me and doing the likes and the thumbs up and then the sharing, that helps Facebook and their analytics and all that stuff, know that you like me. So I really appreciate it. And then also, if you're on my YouTube page, I would love a thumbs up. If you leave a comment or share this, I'm going to figure out, maybe somehow to do this on both. I don't know. I'm not tech savvy, so I have to have people teach me how to do things. You guys, thank you very much for hanging out with me on a Sunday evening. On Thursday, I should be back after 5 o'clock. I don't know what we're doing. And I'm excited to start with, a new... I can put all this stuff away now. It's been hanging around since September, and it's been driving me crazy. All right, guys, take care. Have a great week, and happy stamping.